News is happening as we speak in the United Kingdom, where it is on its way towards lunchtime on a Thursday. The reports are that Prince Andrew, the former Prince Andrew, has been arrested. Now, the suggestion is that police have arrived at the former Prince's home. Now, this information is very fresh to us right now. It is the BBC.
And so it's absolutely right that the police follow the evidence and take the actions that they need to. The crimes that have been alleged to have happened, whether it's with respect to the victims, with Jeffrey Epstein, or passing confidential government papers to a convicted sex offender, are very serious, and the police need to do whatever's necessary to follow the evidence and take the action that they need. But I mean, we don't know all the facts at the moment, but no doubt we'll learn more in the hours to come.
Are you concerned, and a lot of us have been talking about this for quite some time, it's something that our audience is concerned about, that there has actually been an establishment cover-up for many years? When there was the allegations from Virginia Giuffre all those years ago, there was no investigation by the police. £12 million was paid in the second...
Hi guys, welcome back to UK Unfiltered. If you thought the royal drama had peaked, hold on to your hats because the unthinkable has just happened. We aren't just talking about a sternly worded letter from Buckingham Palace or another awkward interview. We're talking about sirens, handcuffs, and a complete collapse of the York dynasty. On the very morning of his 66th birthday, while most people are opening cards and having a lie-in, the man formerly known as Prince Andrew was being read his rights. The lead story across the globe today is the arrest of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor on suspicion of misconduct in public office. This is high stakes, it is historic, and quite frankly, it is a long time coming. Quick favor, if you're loving this, hit that subscribe button. Over 92% of viewers haven't yet. It's free, takes a second, and means the world to us. Thanks if you did. Now back to the show. Imagine the scene at Wood Farm on the Sandringham estate. It's 8 a.m, the Norfolk mist is clinging to the trees, and instead of a tray of tea, Andrew is greeted by a fleet of unmarked police cars and plainclothes officers from Thames Valley Police. This wasn't a social call. The King's brother is currently sitting in a police cell, marking the first time in modern British history a senior member of the royal family, albeit a stripped-down one, has been taken into custody. The charge? Misconduct in public office. The investigation centers on allegations that Andrew used his position as the UK's trade envoy to pass confidential document reports to the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein back in 2010. We're talking about official trips to Singapore, Vietnam, and China trips funded by you, the taxpayer, where the details were allegedly forwarded to a predator before the ink was even dry on the briefing notes.
Scene genuinely. I mean, Andrew, on his what was meant to be his 66th birthday, he was meant to start collecting his pension, has actually, you know, now he's going to spend it in police custody, and that's really what's going on. I mean, it was unmarked officers that went into his almost holding pen that he's in at the moment. He's not in his house that he was meant to be in, and he's also not in his evicted property of the Royal Lodge. So they went in there and they were seen taking laptops out.
For years, the public has whispered about an establishment cover-up. We remember the £12 million settlement to Virginia Giuffre, funded in large part by the late Queen and the current King, which many saw as a get-out-of-jail-free card. But the winds have changed. King Charles III has issued a statement that is as cold as it is final. He expressed his deepest concern, but made one thing crystal clear: the law must take its course. There will be no royal intervention this time, no hidden flights to private islands. Charles has reportedly ordered that the police have the full and wholehearted support of the palace. It is a ruthless move, but a necessary one for a king trying to save a monarchy from the sinking ship that is his brother's reputation. The message is simple: the crown survives even if the brother must fall. While Andrew is being offered a plastic cup of water in a Norfolk station, where is Sarah? Reports are flooding in that the former Duchess has effectively fled the country. With the eviction from Royal Lodge final and her ex-husband in a jail cell, Fergie has reportedly realized that the UK is no longer a safe haven. She has been spotted making a dash for the Middle East, specifically the UAE, where she believes her title might still buy her a seat at the table and a shield from the shame. Friends suggest she sees the Gulf as the only place left where the Epstein shadow hasn't completely eclipsed her status. But let's be real, you can't run from the internet, and you certainly can't run from a global police investigation. If Andrew starts talking, or if those 3 million pages of Epstein documents reveal more about her own financial agreements, there won't be enough desert in Dubai to hide her. While the police are finally busy with the Yorks, the rest of the country is watching a different kind of fast. Prime Minister Keir Starmer's deal to give away the Chagos Islands has turned into a total circus. Even Donald Trump has weighed in, calling it a big mistake to lease back a base we already own. It's a parable for broken Britain. We have the will to send a gunboat to the Indian Ocean to serve papers to Chagos Islanders trying to return home, yet we seem powerless to manage the small boats arriving on our own shores. We are housing migrants in 4-star hotels while telling British citizens they'll be arrested for stepping foot in their own ancestral land. The priorities are upside down, and the public is starting to notice the smell. We are in a dangerous territory. Some say 1938 territory. Our armed forces are in a powerless state, with reports suggesting we have less than 8 days of munitions left if war broke out tomorrow. Reform UK is calling for a massive hike in defense spending to 5%, but the question remains, where does the money come from? The answer, according to the rising voices in politics, is a total overhaul of the welfare budget. We can't be a party of welfare and a global power at the same time. Tough choices are coming, from the triple lock on pensions to the scraping of net zero targets that are deindustrializing the country. The era of magic money is over, and the era of accountability for princes and politicians alike has begun. So, what happens if the law truly catches up with Andrew and Sarah? If the misconduct charges stick, Andrew faces a potential prison sentence. This isn't just about losing his royal highness, it's about losing his freedom. For Sarah, the financial collapse is already here. Her trusts are closing, her TV roles have vanished, and her fleeing to the UAE looks less like a holiday and more like an admission of defeat. The establishment cover-up is over. The inner circle has been breached. Her trusts are closing, her TV roles have vanished, and her fleeing to the UAE looks less like a holiday and more like an admission of defeat. The establishment cover-up is over. The inner circle has been breached. And as the hours tick by, we wait to see if the man in the Norfolk cell will finally have to answer the questions he's been dodging for 20 years. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of the law, because misconduct in public office sounds like something you'd get a slap on the wrist for, like forgetting to pay a parking ticket. But in the UK, this is a common law offense, and the consequences are anything but a slap on the wrist. Under current English law, misconduct in public office carries a maximum sentence of life imprisonment. Yes, you heard that right, life. While it's unlikely that the king's brother will be trading his silk sheets for a bunk bed forever, the 2026 legal climate is colder than a winter morning in Balmoral. The prosecution has a 4-point checklist they need to tick to send Andrew down. 1. He was a public officer acting as such. His role as trade envoy fits this like a glove. 2. He willfully neglected his duty or misconducted himself. 3. His conduct was so bad it amounted to an abuse of the public's trust. 4. He had no reasonable excuse. Sharing confidential government financial papers with a convicted sex offender? That's not just bad judgment, it's a textbook abuse of trust. If the police prove he used his taxpayer-funded office to assist Epstein's financial interests, the Prince of Perks might become the Prince of Purgatory. If these two face the full force of the law, the consequences are terminal for their public lives. The permanent exile. Even if they avoid prison, they would likely be encouraged to live out their days abroad. Experts like Andrew Loney predict Andrew will end up in a golden cage in the UAE, while Sarah might flee to Portugal or Switzerland. The financial erasure. Every penny they have could be subject to proceeds of crime investigations. The total erasure from history. King Charles has already stripped the titles. If conviction follows, the York name will be scrubbed from the royal history faster than you can say Newsnight interview. The Yorks thought they could outrun their past by flying to the Gulf, but in 2026, the past has a very long reach and a pair of very real handcuffs. Thank you for watching this deep dive on UK Unfiltered. This story is moving faster than a royal motorcade, so make sure you've hit that notification bell to stay in the loop.